This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
Where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress?
Detroit? Beyond the sun?
Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumba Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
I dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT in the D.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bumhole? Exactly. Come on. Tries. To hell with this. I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to IT in the D Show. Wax on, you know what.
Why would, Buick put their cars next to, the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to IT in the D.
Yes, Sensei!
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds?
Nerds.
Nerds!
What is a nerd?
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump. The IT and the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear? I'm in my underwear. Here, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
It's just too big. It's way too big.
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
This is Robert Hayes, the Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, and you better buckle up. Buckle this. Ludicrous speed! Go!
Episode 112
This
of the IT
is Howard Cosell
in the D
live
Show
from IT in the D.
is brought to you by Wix.com. If you need a website and you think it's too expensive, or your IT buddy is sick of you calling him, check out Wix.com. No matter what business you're in, you get your site live today. Hundreds of templates, drag and drop. It's completely customizable and Bob-proof, no coding needed. You do not need to be a designer, and you can create something that is not embarrassing. Do us a favor. Go to Wix.com, Wix.com. Create an awesome website. It's easy. The best part, it is free.
Woo! Free.
Free! So welcome. It's Monday, October 5th. This is episode 112 of the IT in the D Show. We are hanging out in the Detroit Sound Studios in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob, the sales guy, always here with Dave the Geek. Nuri, the FNG, is in the house. Find us online, itinthed.com. Give us a like on the Facebook /itinthed. Follow us on the Twitter, because we are IT in the D and you just simply still aren't.
You know, keep trying, Slugger.
Because I got my shirt.
He's got the shirt.
You know, my wife hates
Crush
the
your
back of
enemies,
that shirt.
see them dripping before you. Dave, just mark your calendars just real quick. We got a little bit of a change of venue. October 15th, we have an IT in the D social.
It wouldn't be us if there wasn't a little bit of wacky mayhem, so we did have a little bit of a wacky mayhem situation
Easy
involved.
fix.
Easy. It's not hard. Like when one venue decides, we already overbooked and we can't have you guys here. Okay, we'll find someplace else that wants 100 IT guys and girls to show up and
who loves to drink beer
and have a good time.
That have disposable incomes.
It's
crazy.
It's for some reason that's not a hard sell.
So mark your calendars. October 15th, we're going to be at the Hamlin Corner, which is the north end of Main Street in downtown Royal Oak.
Yep.
We're either going to be on
just
the
up
VIP
past
side.
Imagine.
Yeah, we're going to be there on the VIP side or the other side. Just look for our signs. 5 o'clock till question mark. So we will be there, and the scenery, as we found out today, isn't too shabby there.
Are there Hardy Mums? Hardy Mums everywhere?
Yeah, just a little bit. We have an awesome guest lineup tonight. Definitely stay tuned. Second segment, we're joined by Eric Gorgeous. No, that's not his hacker name or his stage name.
And he's not a wrestler.
And he's
pretty decent looking, too.
He's a former IT guy, left his corporate gig, started Voodoo Choppers, one of the most highly sought motorcycle builders in the country. Now he's launching a PBS show nationally called Craftsmans Legacy. Should have an awesome talk with him. Next up, we're going to have Jessica and Ryan here from Django Girls. They got an awesome event coming up for girls in IT, talking about some other stuff as well, an event coming up. And then last but not least, we got Wolfgang here, who was on episode 1 with us.
It's come full circle.
From Creative Breakthroughs. We're going to talk about their brand new office downtown, a bunch of hacks and crap going on in the hacker space. And
some of the programs that they have going on to train people. So, I mean, they've got a lot of cool stuff going on down
Academy,
there.
And then also some cons that are coming up. We just saw them over at the one that I... Secure
World, Bob, where we broadcasted live.
Yeah,
we were there.
I know.
Yes.
I remember. But hey, this segment of the IT and the D Show is brought to you by Harry's. If you heard us for the last 6 months or so, I've been using Harry's razors. My wife has stopped complaining for paying $45 at Walgreens for razors. It was started by a couple guys who were passionate about creating a better shaving experience. And honestly, these things show up like Loot Crate. It feels like Christmas when these things show up. Basically, what you can do if you use coupon code IT and the D.
I'm sorry, the what?
Coupon code IT.
There's
coupon.
no Q in that goddamn word. We've had this conversation.
Coupon. Their starter kit's $15. It includes a razor, 3 blades, and your choice of shaving cream or foaming shave gel. As an added bonus, you get $5 off using that coupon code and free shipping. I think I just got a note that my 2 months is up, so I'm like literally spending $10 every 2 months, and I think I have like 2 razors left over. It's a phenomenal product. Definitely give them a shout. Harrys.com, HARRYS. Use coupon code IT and the D, and get your wife off your back of spending too much money on razors. Oh, and by the way, my wife said, can you order some of that Harry's shaving cream stuff? Because I like it. So obviously it has other applications than my beard.
Massage oil? No?
Good to know.
Yeah. So this has been kind of a goofy week. The stories aren't like, it's not like they're funny stories. They're absolutely goofy stories. The dumbest stuff I've been reading. Basically, everyone's getting hacked. Burger King's making everybody sick. There's apps stealing other people's names. What the hell else is what's going on, Dave? What do you want to start?
Mother of God, where do we even start? You know what? Let's just start with the stupid things, because we always try to get like the common like non-IT stuff in here as well, and I think this is a situation that's worth talking about. So, couple in Minnesota, were planning on going to a friend's wedding. And the mom bailed, so they didn't have a babysitter for the kids, so they couldn't make it to the wedding. Flash forward 2 weeks, they get a bill,
like an invoice,
from the couple who got married for their walnut crusted tilapia or whatever the hell it was that they were serving at $80 a plate, and basically hey, please remit and send gift.
You want to
so I'm assuming they weren't that close of friends to begin with, because if they were, number one, they wouldn't have sent the bill. Number two, it wouldn't have made its way to Facebook, and number three, if they were close friends, they're not now.
going in human meme mode right now. The Archer meme is buzzing in my head going, you want me to never be friends with you? Because that's how you never be friends.
Like, I get it, though. At the same time, the average wedding costs almost $30,000 in the United States.
Don't care. It's cost of doing business. There's always 5% of the people don't show up. Every wedding, it's inevitable. You always, just like every event you go to for everything you've ever done, there's always name badges on the table.
It's like overselling an airplane, basically.
Abso-stinking-lutely. And whoever didn't eat that meal, the valet guy ate the meal, a cook ate, the DJ ate the meal, someone ate that meal.
The husband who's well on his way to being overweight in 2 years is eating that meal.
Right.
He's already gotten comfortable with it. Yeah.
But like, what's the thought process behind that? Because I'm just thinking back to like my wedding, going, Aunt Judy didn't show up. We should send that bitch a bell. Like,
yeah, like I said, like that's like that. You know, like so, like how did that happen? Like, were you going through, the envelopes and the gifts and all that stuff? As you either that night or you get back from the honeymoon and like had a checklist running of who you got stuff from and who was that, like, and how do you, like, so what if they just didn't leave an envelope when they were there? Like, what if they were like left a nice anonymous gift and you just didn't know? Jerks.
What if they didn't give enough? Like my mother always does that, and it pisses me off to no avail. How much did the Dosenbergers give for your wedding? I go, why? Because we have to go to their sons. I go, just give whatever you give. Like, you have to match.
Yeah, there shouldn't be, you should not be judging and trying to figure out, no.
I'm crossing them off the Christmas list.
Good. Like, enough.
So, a great story this week that we were babbling back and forth about all week was People. So it's
not the magazine.
Not the magazine. Peeple, which bills itself as Yelp for people.
Oh, wait, hold on.
So you can review, exes. You can review coworkers.
No.
You can review. Needless to say, the internet was not amused.
So,
by the launch of People.
1 out of 5 stars. Don't try his sausage.
Yeah, exactly.
This was something.
Worst meatball sandwich
my
ever.
Old friend, one of my first friends, Lisa, like this was back in college. She wanted to start a website to review ex-boyfriends just so her friends wouldn't date the same creep she was. And I'm like, this is what it's become. But here's the thing. It's like Yelp. Like if you run into a butthole, you're going to rush to People and you're going to rate him. If you meet a really nice guy that bought you a donut, like first in line,
you'll never go to
no way.
Because it's Yelp 101. It's either 1 star, 5 star.
Right.
There's nobody writes a 3-star review on Yelp except for us. I'm convinced.
How many ex-girlfriends are going to review somebody with a really positive review after you've been broken up with? He bought me flowers all the time, and he bought everything, and he was such a nice guy, and he broke up with me because he didn't love me anymore. 1 star, right? I mean,
right. Because it wasn't me, it was him.
We broke up. Exactly. We broke up. Wow, what an amazing human being.
I mean, I think about how petulant and bullshit Yelp reviews are. Like, I think the waiter farted as he walked away, 1 star.
Gave me a smug look.
The bartender spent 30 seconds making
but here's
my
the
drink.
worst part. So this app by these folks out of Canada, but so this app, like, so there's a real company in the UK that like had filed the trademark for Peeple, which was
where it gets funny.
Which is basically a like a remote surveillance system for your door. You could hook like a little thing to your door and
peephole, right?
Yeah, peephole.
That's actually clever.
And you could see, or you could see the people at your door. That was the whole point. They caught a little. They've had a bad week. They've had a really bad.
They need
week.
to rebrand their Twitter.
Got destroyed because everyone assumed that the Yelp for People app was them, and so like they've been frantically trying to do damage control, trying to hire PR firms, reaching out, like appealing to celebrities that have been like slamming the People reviewing app.
Well, they started being funny. They started doing like Taco Bell, like answering back. But after you get like 3,000 a day, you get exhausted.
It's a little overwhelming.
Right.
They're done. Rebrand. It's time.
And the people that wouldn't even use that app to begin with, I hate you. Don't use it. But like here I am. I'm trying to get like digital. Like that came up on my radar. Because I want to get Ring or something, because I need more apps on my phone. And the doorbell isn't enough. I need it to ring my phone, right?
New from Nest.
Right,
I'm not going to lie. That'd be a great app for here.
It would be a great app for here.
Buzzer rings. We can see who's at
right, because we get so many strangers here all the time.
True. Would have been a better app at the Russell.
Right. So we all know, like, I love the surveys where Americans are stupid. Right?
I was just going to go there. Nice timing.
What is it? Miss South Carolina, the 15% of Americans can't name the U.S. on the map. Yeah, such as. So 11% of Americans think HTML is an STD. I would have guessed higher. Maybe I'll give them credit.
Wait, you mean it's not How to Meet Ladies?
No. STD? No. STD is not a florist? What?
That's like 1 in 9 Americans.
That's not my alarm company? What?
I don't know if I have 1 in 9 of my friends who don't know what HTML is. And they surveyed people who are 18 and older.
Yes.
There's some weird thing.
But it's all about where they do the survey. Like, you know what? If you go to, like, rural Alabama.
Rutland, Vermont.
Right. I'm fairly certain you can gin up a good number of people to offset our peer group.
Well, no, there's 1 in 6 are on food stamps. There's 7 people here. Yeah. Who are you?
No, it's every Cialis commercial. 1 in 3 guys. But
there are 3 of us. And I'm the youngest, so F you guys.
Means nothing.
Also, 23% thought that MP3 is a Star Wars robot. That's 1 in 4.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes, same article.
Yeah.
MP3 has been...
You just read the headline, didn't you, Bob? You didn't actually read the article.
I totally read it in it. Read the headline, upvote.
What also breaks my heart is 18% thought that Blu-ray was a marine animal. Who's not sitting around at home watching TV? It's like, now on DVD and Blu-ray. Somehow 18% of Americans miss that fact.
Everyone, even if not, you go to Redbox at Walmart's, it's not like... the MP3 thing is getting me because that's been a ubiquitous...
The 90s.
96 or so.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that is it's as common to me as, biscuits and gravy. I was trying to think of something common. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. No, but like, how do you not know where do you live where you don't know what that is? Are they, all the people in the Appalachians or something? Just got done watching Deliverance for the 73rd, 100th time.
Can't wait to go to SeaWorld, get me some Blu-rays.
Got
to sit in the splash zone for Blu-ray.
I'm still waiting for HD DVDs to come true. I've been sitting on this $400 player for years now.
Right next to my 8-track player.
And that laser disc.
Oh.
When me and Dave went to that flea market on 10 and DeQuinder, they had a huge section of laser discs.
Oh my God! Like he's not exaggerating.
And I'm like, Dave, look, it's a laser. He goes, no, it's a record. I go, horse shit. Look at the label. And he goes, no, it's a laser.
And I literally had to pull it out, and it was an effing laser disc.
I think it was Flashdance.
And no, don't get me wrong. Like the same, so the guy that had like 500 laser discs also had about 80,000 VHSs sitting back behind the laser discs.
One of these days, them shits are going to be worth some money.
Yeah.
As solar reflectors.
Yeah, exactly. But so speaking of collecting collectibles and all that kind of nonsense, I loved every ounce of this story. The guy that's going on tour with the Lego Batmobile that is 18 feet long and took 500,000 pieces to build.
Hope he glued it.
Well, if he's going to travel with it, you would assume it has to come apart somehow for transport.
How? Did he glue it?
I don't know.
I'm not putting that thing back together.
I'm not saying he's going to take the entire damn thing apart between cities, but...
Why can't you put it on a flatbed?
Flatbeds bounce, roads...
What makes you get up in the morning and go, I want to make a Batmobile out of 18,000 Legos? You know how much?
500,000.
500,000? You know how much? Well, that costs more than the Batmobile.
And I don't think Bob can work a 100-piece puzzle. I mean, come on, 500,000.
Oh, I'm not putting my kids' Legos together. I see that.
Oh, yeah, no, Gretchen and I have talked. Mr. Bob does not help with the Legos.
No. But I thought didn't Ford do a life-size Explorer?
Yeah.
And the cost of the Legos was like $120,000 or something insane. So, why doesn't the guy just buy the Batmobile? Like, what? And then he's going to charge people $10 at cons to take pictures with it? Is that what he's doing?
Well, yeah.
But couldn't you charge $30 to go for a ride in the Batmobile? Yeah.
You would think so.
Business was not his major.
Speaking of possibly failed business plans.
Oh, boy.
Here's one that I'm not going to lie. I don't care what the sentiment is behind this. This is creepy as all hell. There is a company that now, when your loved one dies, if you really, really, really like the tattoo that they have, they will carve out that hunk of skin and preserve it for you. for eternity.
Oh my God! Do you frame it? Like,
Yeah.
really?
No, literally, yes. Framing is like one of the things they offer.
Like parchment?
Like your loved one's dead skin hanging up on the wall in your house.
Seriously, imagine walking into like your friend's house and it's just sitting there like in the hallway and you're like, oh, that's my uncle's.
Yeah, that's my uncle's tribal tattoo that he had around his bicep. Yeah, we were just really.
Does anyone want to go in the basement? Would you like to try our homemade sausage?
I've got some very nice hair collection in the upstairs bedroom.
Well, no, you could see that. I don't know if this gets really creepy, but there can be collectors. Like, what do people collect that kind of stuff?
Well, tattoos are art. I was at a regional Burning Man event this weekend, and just seeing people's tattoos, people spend hundreds and hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars on it. But still, I can't imagine cutting that off of a cadaver and putting that in a freaking...
And turning it into like a Pokemon trading card, which is what...
Oh, I see you have this tribal tattoo. I have a butterfly stamp. Do you, can we trade?
Right.
Interested in this?
I'll give you this lower back tramp stamp from my aunt that died in a car crash.
Tweety bird on my
If you give me
calf.
the dolphin...
You can still see the singe marks on the skin area.
Would you like to buy an ear necklace while you're at it?
Yeah, it's just one of those. I don't understand. I don't understand the thought process.
Oh, maybe they make chicharron out of it at the Latin restaurant.
Nice. I do. That's one of those things where I want to see the flow chart that led them to. That's our business plan. That's where we're going to be.
Any idea if it's successful?
They just launched.
Okay.
It's just getting off the ground. No pun intended, or out of the ground, or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be. I'm not going to lie. That's one of the ones that I'm going to kind of keep an eye on because I want to see where that goes.
So I always like when people fall on their face because I always do it. So that when others do it, it makes me feel good about myself.
Especially when it's somebody huge.
No,
like when it's a really big company that screws up.
Which one? Oh, you're
like Google.
Different. Which one? Oh, what did the Googles do?
When Google forgot to renew their domain.
Oh yeah.
And so there was a random dude that owned Google.com for about a minute.
So he went on the Google domain. He went on the Google. Yeah, well, for 1 minute, some random guy went on the Google domain purchasing, which I didn't even know they did, and he bought Google.com for a minute. But here's the thing: how did they take it from him?
A lot of money.
Well, when you're on the Google.com domain registrar, right. I'm fairly sure someone at Google has a kill switch.
Yeah. Well, I remember I registered beer.us when the US just came out.
Yeah.
And I owned it. And I got the email. And then I went to log in to and then it wasn't there anymore. And I sent an email and they said, no, you didn't. This isn't the domain you're looking for. What? I was all excited. I'm doing backflips like, yeah, no, it's gone. Nothing.
There's got to be like a team of 100 people at Google sitting around watching for things like domain expirations, certificate expirations, crap
right?
Like
and
that.
None of them did their job. That's the word. Like none of them did their job.
Well, how many?
How do you just not review? Like how do you not renew that like a month ahead of time?
You have a Google Calendar alert that pops up. Warning:
Hey,
Google.com is expiring in 30 days.
There's been maybe twice or three times that the IT and the D site was dead and
I got to call Bob. You. Don't!
Did you not renew the domain?
Did you not? Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I sent you a calendar invite.
Why is it not on auto renew?
I sent you a Google Hangout so we could watch you renew it this time. Ass.
No, but the thing with GoDaddy with me is I got like 13 credit cards stored in there. And like I get all these stupid emails from GoDaddy.
And your credit cards keep getting canceled because they get compromised.
Right. And they call me all the time, and I don't know what. Do they call you?
Oh, like
why?
Daily.
Stop! And I like you
because
making me not
thank
like
you for your business. Thank you for this. Hey, we'd like to talk. No, I don't. I don't want to talk about a better way to consolidate and optimize my domain registrations. Just you have that little auto renew checkbox. I'm good.
Do you want to renew those 6 domains? No, I got it. It's online. I got it. It's like Amazon calling me, going, "Do you want to buy more toilet paper, Mr. Walsh?" No, I'm good. I got it.
You're on auto ship,
right? Exactly. Clockwork.
Do you have the button that when you finish a roll, you can order more?
Yeah, I didn't know the toilet paper made one. I know the Tide one. I asked my wife if she wanted a Tide button, but I'm afraid like my kids are going to push it all the time, and we're going to end up with like a lifetime supply on the porch. Because I know that you have one for like there's one for
toilet paper in the house.
Yeah, there's one for Kraft Dinner. I know that they're starting to make more and more of them. But that's all. Is it that hard for me to go to Meijer and buy Kraft Dinner? I need a button in my pantry to like send me Kraft Dinner. Again, but people will do it. Right, and they'll accidentally buy it, just like when people accidentally hit the banner ads on Clash of Clans, and that's why they make $500,000 a day.
Flappy Birds.
Flappy Birds, so stupid. So did you put on your? Is it ready yet? Did you put on your new video profile for Facebook yet?
No, screw everything about that because nothing good can come of that, and I don't like it.
Do they just want to be Vine? What are they doing?
Who knows? Apparently, they want attention whores to be able to attention whore more effectively. And so since static photos don't do that well enough, they want your profile to be video.
I see, but Facebook is so weird about their the requirements on pictures and names and crap like that. How long is it going to be till somebody really screws up their video picture and the feature is gone?
I'm waiting for the Reddit thread where it's let's all switch our profile pictures to porn because that's going to happen.
Well, wasn't the kiss of death of MySpace was when they allowed all the bullshit glitter
sparkly
unicorns.
backgrounds and the
everyone
blinking HTML tags.
Before you knew it, was a 12-year-old girl.
It was GeoCities,
right? Worse than GeoCities. Are you kidding me? Yep, I'm done. Reddit's starting to become like that. There's all they joke now about. It's the second day of the it used to be the front page of the internet.
Yeah,
it was the front page of the internet yesterday. Because it's not updating.
Right,
it's been a complete disaster since the whole CEO thing left. But again, it doesn't take long for people to leave you. There's no brand loyalty on their internets. Something else comes out that's better.
It was Dig, and then there was Reddit,
right?
And then
it was Fark, then it was Dig, and then it was
And now there's Vote, which looks like a weirdly skinned Reddit clone.
Yeah, it is weak.
It is weak.
You got to make it your own. If you're going to do that,
and then
make it your own. Yeah. Is Fark still around?
Oh, absolutely. Drew Curtis, Fark.
Oh, I loved Fark.
Totally. He's the guy who coined Florida Man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Totally.
Did you know why? Did you hear that story, or why so many stories are from Florida? Because the reporters have the most access to their crime reports over any state in the union.
Really?
So that's the only reason. Every state's got all those crazy people, but because Florida allows the Freedom of Information Act, their version of it for crime stories.
Dude, I don't buy it.
I'll send you the story, but it's trust me, it just came out this week.
Yeah.
I didn't put it on our list, but yeah, that's the reason why the Florida Man exists.
So every state has guys who like to hump alligators.
Yes.
And museums that open for
especially in Alaska. A lot of alligator
maybe
humpers in Alaska.
Maybe it's regional based. The animal changes based on region, but
and museums that open up that do nothing but show off fossilized poo.
The world's largest poop museum is now in Florida. So road trip.
I'm totally going.
And a GOP senator or somebody who's running for office who admitted to drinking goat blood this week, killing a goat and sacrificing.
Yeah, how is that
blood.
not an Onion story? I seriously do not know how that was not an Onion.
Wasn't
article.
one of the prime ministers or someone in the UK? Didn't he hump?
David Cameron. Yep.
Yeah.
What did he hump? A dead pig?
A pig.
Yeah.
Pig
it was the Bay of Pigs scandal. Yes.
What point do you look at a
the BAE
pig, let alone a dead one?
Pigs, yeah.
I'd really like to hump that. You know what?
College initiation, maybe. I don't know.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
I remember you and Frankenmuth a few times. Don't judge.
Oh, stop. Flashbacks there for a minute.
Moving on.
So speaking of poop, I love Twitter blowups, and Burger King just got their asses handed to them, no pun intended, and they came
They
out.
got their buns handed to them.
That too. Did you? It looks like the grossest thing in humanly possible. Anyway,
When it came out in Asia, everybody was horrified.
Right. It looks awful. It's like it's our buns soaked with A1 sauce. Okay, great. I don't want to eat
Or
it.
squid ink or whatever the hell it is.
Well, apparently, it's not like a Lester chips where it makes you have a loose discharge, seepage. No, this thing's like straight up lime green feces from eating one of these things.
That's awesome.
And everyone's horrified.
That won't freak anybody out.
So here's what's happening. They're taking pictures of said BM and they're tweeting them to Burger King saying, thank you for the green stool.
It's because of Halloween. I mean, come on.
And somewhere there's some poor bastard who's like, you know what? The social media manager gig at Burger King is the sweetest job I've ever had. And then this happened.
What does Burger King say? Like, sorry, it'll go away tomorrow.
The internet will forget in a couple days.
How much dye is in a burger to make your
apparently
poop
a lot.
green? My God Almighty!
Well, and you want and you do again. You want the flow chart. What's the chemical process that goes from jet black bun to its neon green coming out of you like that. There's no boxes between those two boxes that make that a good thing for your system.
And there's somebody at the test kitchen that's like, guys, you want to see this? Did they not make the correlation, or they just think something was like, oh, just another Tuesday? I'm like, what?
Just another day in the Burger King research lab.
If you're in the Burger King, I can't imagine the stomach problems you have being in the research lab for Burger King. Holy shit. We're going to be back after this with Eric Gorgeous from Voodoo Choppers and Craftsman's Legacy on PBS. This is the IT in the D Show, and we'll see you in a few.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT in the D Show.
IT in the D. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time. ITinthed.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
And welcome back. Segment 2, episode 112. This is the IT in the D Show. Monday night football night. The Kraftwerk concert is down at the Masonic, and we're hanging out in the Detroit Sound Studios in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob, the sales guy, here with Dave the Geek, Nuri, the BOM. Find us online at itinthed.com. Don't forget, mark your calendars, October 15th, Hamlin Corner. We're going to take it over. Change of plans. Definitely note the venue change. We look forward to drinking all their drinks.
Yes,
as we always do.
And this segment of IT in the D is brought to you by Braintree. Developers around the world have embraced the Braintree V.0 SDK as the easiest way to add secure mobile payments to their apps and websites. No matter what payment type, Braintree takes it. Apple Pay, Android Pay, PayPal, Venmo, credit cards, Bitcoin. And if something new pops up, they're going to support that as well. Large companies that use it, Uber, Airbnb, GitHub, so you know it functions at scale. And putting it in your app is as easy as just putting in a couple lines of code. I think it's like 10 lines of code, and you drop in a form, and you're taking payments through Braintree. So don't take our word for it. Try out the sandbox and see for yourself at BraintreePayments.com/IT.
Lowercase.
Yep, lowercase. That's weird, right? No.
Yeah, they went uppercase and then went 404.
Yeah, I was talking with some folks in the Detroit area developers group, and they were like, "Oh, well, dude, that link doesn't work." And I was like, "Well, but I swear to God, that's the link they gave me." And it turned out it was uppercase versus lowercase, which way to run your website.
So, are you done with Nuri? Are you done with Nuri Pay yet? Is that where's that in development stage?
So Nuri Pay has been shelved.
Shelved?
Yeah, shelved.
What happened?
It'll be better in version 2.0.
Fair.
Yeah, I've had to hire some developers.
Because I want to do our dream was always like in college, you'd always think of business ideas. I go, I want to get $1 from 1 million people, and then I can retire, right? We're in college.
I can totally retire on $1 million.
Exactly. Give me $1, give me $1.com, make an app. Just run into people going, hey, can I have $1? And just start.
I think about all the people begging for money.
And there it is. Have an app.
Yes, I don't have any change. Well, guess what? I've got an app.
It's Beggar. Exactly. Beggr.
Homeless app. Yeah.
It's Beggar. Beggr.
It's brilliant.
No, the guy on 8 and Woodward just go, no, I don't have any cash. Well, here's an app. I have Square. Just,
No joke. I would slide my card.
Oh, I would totally. Here's 20.
Panhandler without the E.
But hey, we got a great guest here in segment 2. We have a I love these stories, former IT guy, left his corporate gig, started a motorcycle chop shop called Voodoo Choppers. Can I call him a chop shop? Is that...
You can if you want.
It's a good.
It really doesn't.
No, dude, chop shop has a very negative
That's what I mean.
theft connotation
normally
to it.
does,
Yeah, no.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
They built motorcycles. They did not disassemble them and sell them on the black market against the law. Not
That's
a chop
not what
shop.
it
Nothing
means.
against the law.
No, that's what a chop shop is.
Right, we hope not. But actually, the reason you're here is you got a national show on PBS coming soon called "Craftsmans Legacy."
Coming soon, 7:30 tonight.
7:30. Well, that's where we're already. When will then be now? That was 2 hours ago.
About 2 hours ago.
Nice. So if you can go back in time, grab your DeLorean.
Put instant coffee in a microwave. Go back in time. Watch a show.
Yeah.
So I guess talk to me.
Well, if we're on the West Coast, it'd be fine.
Yes.
Coming up.
We'll call our friends in LA.
There you go.
So former IT guy, what in the hell did you do?
I worked for Xerox Corporation.
Okay.
Yeah, and I loved it, honestly. I started there when I was young. I was 16, started there as a stock boy, and I was there when they moved from an analog environment to a digital environment, and I was a computer geek.
Okay.
I was a Unix guy. I knew Unix. I loved it. And when they went to that environment, they just shipped in tons of SGI boxes, the pizza boxes they used to have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Super expensive boxes, right? Just shipped in a ton of that stuff. And it all just sat there in the stock room forever. Nobody really knew what was going on. And I set it up one night.
Well, the thing about Xerox used to be one of the biggest names in IT that no one had ever heard of, like their Park research facility.
Yeah, Park.
Totally. A lot of cool things came out of Xerox.
A ton of cool things, yeah. And I mean, Park is still phenomenal.
Anytime you could turn your company into a verb, you did it right.
Right on.
But here's the thing. I would safe to assume, Nuri, and you'd probably attest to that, Dave, too, 90% of IT guys, if they're either doing code or doing something, they're daydreaming about, can I leave this
About
game?
not coding and
Unless my boss is listening, and then I love coding and I love working for you.
And following your passion. So, I mean, were you doing motorcycles and choppers your whole life? Was that something you just wanted to pursue?
Yes
How
and no.
did that thought process come out?
You know, like every kid, you know, that lives in Detroit, you grow up thinking about hot rods and motorcycles.
Cars, yep.
And, you know, pretty much anything with a motor that's loud and obnoxious and fast, right?
I was working for Budweiser in college. They gave me a minivan, like a Budweiser minivan. I didn't have a car payment, so I'm like, I'm going to go buy a 70 Vet convertible with 454s.
Nice.
Yeah, 454 engine. Basically got the biggest, loudest, most obnoxious car that I had no idea how to work on.
Exactly.
But I had it,
Yep.
And I traded that finally for a 76 Cadillac that I need to work on. Don't need to work on at all. I just push the gas and just let it glide. But so
best thing in the entire free world is Bob parking, like pulling out, like being in the car with Bob when he parks that car.
Parks the boat.
And people are like, dude, sweet ride. What do you got under the hood? What's this? What's that? And Bob's like, you look. I don't know.
Here's a wrench and a flashlight.
I remember taking my vet to car shows, and people want to talk about it. And I would park like in the people parking lot, not with the show car. They're like, your car's nicer than any car here. And I'm like, I don't know. I just like it.
Shiny.
Yeah. So, I mean, when did you start tinkering with motorcycles?
Oh, geez. Probably 1920. I got my first bike, and
wow, you're a lot older than you look.
Yeah.
Are you a vampire? Has the last name of gorgeous. Doesn't look too shabby. Right. Alive in 1920.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And at least 95 years old. Got it. Okay.
And he was on TV
You're on to me. You're on to me.
And he was on TV 2 hours ago.
Yeah. I don't know. I grew up in a mechanical family, so we did everything, made everything around the house, did everything. My grandfather was a master carpenter, so I learned a lot. I was always doing stuff and making stuff. So I got my first bike when I was like 19 or 20, not 19, 20.
Right.
And it just went from there, I was at Xerox for, I don't know, quite some time, like
Well, it's a Detroit
years.
thing. Everyone's got their side hustle, right?
Exactly.
I don't care who you are. Everyone's got a, and I talk to people from out of town and they don't understand what side hustle is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you, Jamaican? You got 6 jobs? I'm a sales guy. Then I DJ on the side and make money. We do the podcast. We got the networking events. We do the job fairs. It's like, gee, what don't you do?
Yeah.
But to me, it's a totally, yeah. I don't need bullshit. But to me, it's a total Detroit thing, right?
I think so. Yeah. Everybody from Detroit is always like, they've got their job that pays the bills. Then they've got their job that
their
they
passion
want
project.
to do, their passion project, what they really want to do. And that's just how it works. And it's cool. You meet awesome people that way.
But you were lucky enough to actually bring it to fruition, right?
Lucky or stupid, one of the two. Yeah, right?
So here's the thing. There's so many people trying to get into Hollywood and trying to be on TV and doing reality stuff. How did that parlay into you breaking into getting your own television show?
A whole lot of people and a lot of just tenacity.
Is that something you dreamed about, like working on the bikes, or is that something that just like was approached to you? Or
well, when I was, early on the bike shop, the TV shows started to appear, like the Biker Build Off series on Discovery, and all
we
these
had OC choppers.
Exactly,
there was a lot of that stuff
Jesse
going on.
James started it, I think, didn't he?
Jesse, yeah. Jesse was like definitely one of the first bike shows, right? So I did some of the early Discovery shows, and I was fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time. I traveled a lot, and a lot of magazines and books and all that stuff. You meet a lot of different people, and in my travels, I just always thought, man, it'd be pretty cool to tell these stories about different craftsmen that you meet. You know,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that like they work with their hands and they're making cool shit. And,
Well,
you
it's like that was my question. So, like, what? So, talk to me about the transition between Voodoo Choppers to a Craftsman's legacy. Like, what's obviously Voodoo Choppers was all the motorcycles and that kind of stuff. What is the focus of a Craftsman's legacy?
Yeah, well, Voodoo's still around. Like, I still build bikes for a living. You know, that's still what I do. I'm there every day.
Cool.
Not every day, but often. And legacy is really just us telling these stories of amazing craftsmen that work with their hands. It has nothing at all to do with motorcycles. We've never done any motorcycle builders.
Really?
Nope. No. Because I don't want. Like I said, you know, there are like so many TV shows about motorcycles or car guys, and they're very, I don't know what the word is, characterized, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want this show to be like that, so we purposely stayed away from it, so much so that we don't really even talk a whole lot about my background personally on the show. It's really telling stories of different craftsmen, and I've worked with all kinds of cool people. I mean,
I was going to say, yeah, it's like when you say different craftsmen, like who?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm assuming you're not filming them week by week still as they air. So like, what did people miss 2 hours ago, and what do they have to look forward to? In the coming weeks.
So season 1 aired last year. Season 2 just started rolling out in September.
Okay,
and in Detroit today, October 5th.
Yes,
right, and that's 7:30.
Yeah,
is when it aired in Detroit. Because national PBS shows, they roll out. They don't, like, it's not on Mondays everywhere across the nation.
It staggers. Okay.
Correct. Right.
It doesn't stop every 15 minutes with all the callers and the phone ringing in the background. With
No. Nor does
it
it stop for commercials constantly.
And if you want to watch the rest of Craftsman's Legacy for $15,
Your donation
click here to
buy the DVDs. Yeah.
Well, we had a friend that put out me and Dave were co-producers, which just means we just donated some money.
Right.
But it was a history of professional wrestling in Detroit, and it aired on PBS, but it only aired like as they showed small clips, and then
Right.
if you would like to copy this DVD for
Right.
$65 donation,
Yeah.
That's why I was just curious if you actually
During pledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what are some of the stories, like the people that you're meeting? How are you getting access to them? And I guess what are you talking about?
It's literally all kinds of things. I've worked with blacksmiths, woodworkers, stained glass blowers.
It's lost art.
Cheesemaker, guy that does like small batch cheeses. You know,
that's the next big wave.
Dude,
that was that should have been inside me instead it came out. Sorry,
that was awesome, and they kicked my ass. I mean, like that shoot. It was a midnight call. We started shooting at 2 a.m. and worked till 11 a.m. Then I'd go home or go to the
Making
hotel. It was
cheese?
Wisconsin. Oh yeah, dude.
Because they don't do that during the day. Like they couldn't.
Well, a lot of people ask that.
Does sunlight hurt cheese?
No. Yeah.
Are we back to the vampire thing?
Right. It had more to do with saving money on electricity than working in the middle of the night. Plus, it goes back to the original cheesemakers. I guess they worked in the middle of the night. I don't know.
Because it's cooler, and I guess that
it's like
makes
ice
sense.
time, Mr. Hockey Guy. You should know about that.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
right there you go. So we'd make cheese and play hockey.
It's very Wisconsin.
Very Wisconsin, yeah.
Those places are like heaven. Those cheese shops in Wisconsin. I was just there last week, and like I want to stop at every single one of them, and it's just think of hundreds and hundreds, and
Oh, dude, it's the bomb. Yeah, and you walk out of there and it's. You got like 30 pounds of cheese. Like you lose that sense of reality, right?
Eating.
Oh yeah, give me a pound. I'll take 10 of that.
Yeah.
I love that. And you walk out with like this giant box of cheese. You don't even know what the hell you're going to do with it.
I went to the jerky outlet, and it was like I think it was $30 a pound for some of this beef jerky. And there's people like hundreds of dollars. Like I'm a Slim Jim guy. I don't even like that must be the good stuff. You know what I mean?
It's like that
the top shelf, right?
Right.
It's like that episode of Portlandia where it's like, do you know the chicken's name? Can I see it? And then you wake up a year and a half later pregnant with the cult leader's kid. It's like, damn it, cheese shop. All I wanted was some squeaky cheese.
I just wanted string cheese.
So, Eric, question for you. How does your background in IT influence what you do on your show and then what you do with the motorcycles? Is that something that helps you? Does it hurt you? Or does
he remembers how hellish it was and that he never wants to go back, so he tries really, really hard on the shows.
Super legit. Absolutely.
Yeah, right. I loved what I did. I really did. I enjoyed it a lot. I loved that challenge and problem solving constantly, and I wasn't a strict coder. Like I didn't sit there and write code all day. I was actually out in the field and I did some coding, not a lot, and I did all kinds of stuff. So I was able to, I don't know.
I think we trade
have
one
fun with
headache
it.
for another because Dave and I was talking about opening a bar as if that's going to be like the Oasis, right? It'll be amazing. It'll be so much fun.
It's going to be a lot better.
We're going to be Norman Cliff, and then everything will just run itself. You know?
And we're our own profit and loss worst enemy.
Right.
Right.
We would have made 10,000 if it wasn't for you two clowns.
Bob, you drank 1,000 beers last month.
Exactly.
Well, now 18 years out of that industry and that field, I'm forgetting everything. Last night I had to look up a terminal command for ipconfig because I couldn't remember the syntax for it, and I'm like, damn it, I know this. I'm like,
I think ipconfig is an STD, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Doc, I've got a really bad case of ipconfig.
That's IP burns.
Yeah.
/renew.
My router's dropping constantly. I'm like, son of a bitch.
So I got a horrible case of ipconfig release.
Spit my beer.
Stay away from those Dave burgers.
So are you coming up with the content? Is somebody writing for you, or how is this coming about?
It's a team. There's a group
You have
of people
now?
People that actually know what they're doing in television, because I don't.
Right?
Right? I just do the easy part, which is talk to people and make stuff,
Yeah. So, I guess coming back to a tech thing, what does PBS do with it? They just play it on TV? Are you got YouTube rights to it, or
Yeah, I retain all the rights to it. So it's basically licensing rights to distribution, right? And then that goes through public television distribution channels.
So are you putting it through? Can you watch it on YouTube? Can you put it online?
No, you have to go to our website and watch it through our membership.
So what is the
It's
website?
free. It's craftsmanslegacy.com.
Okay.
And
Craftsmans with an S?
Craftsmans, right.
Okay.
Plural, legacy.com. And then we started a little section called the Legacy Society. And you sign up for free. We don't even send out anything. We're going to start sending out newsletters in November of this year. But that allows you to watch all the episodes for free as much as you want.
Very cool.
That way,
Binge watch.
Ford underwrites our show. Wow. So I don't want you to see it with somebody else's commercial in front of it.
Yep, absolutely.
You watch it in our environment the way it's meant to be watched.
Understood.
And that's it, right?
Understood. Yeah, no, makes complete sense.
Would you describe your shows more like educational or informational, or is it kind of entertainment? Or is it kind of all of the
think it's all the above. At the end of the day, what I really want it to be, and what I think we all want it to be, is inspirational. We want people to think of it and look at it and realize, no shit, somebody bakes that with their hands still.
When you brought up blacksmiths and glass blowers and stained glass, those people exist still that don't work at Greenfield Village?
Dude.
Seriously.
Season 1, I worked with this cat up north, one of the best knife makers in the U.S. We dug up sand in Lake Superior and separated the hematite and the magnetite, created a forge out of chimney flute, and then smelted our own steel, and then made a knife from that.
When Armageddon happens, I'm going to his house.
It was fantastic. Oh, yeah. The crew's dragging me out of there.
Zombie apocalypse, his network is the one to have.
Exactly. Eric, hey, remember us? We put you on our podcast.
It's one of my favorite stories to tell people. It's I was in awe the whole time. I was like, oh, dude, this is awesome. This is completely badass.
Well,
how do you do this?
Me and my wife always watch Naked and Afraid because we've been talking for years. If we ever get dropped on an island, I'll be dead in an hour. So I'm
ripping the time-space continuum happens, and suddenly I find myself in 1300s Europe.
Yeah.
I'm dead in 8 seconds.
Right, for sure.
Unless you can fashion a chainsaw on your arm, then maybe.
Well, no, or if I can find chemicals and then I can play off the wizard thing, I can do that.
Look at my phone. Look at the light coming out of my Android.
Lighter.
Watch, I found sulfur. I shall make fart bombs. Whoosh. That's all I got.
That's stuff I think it's a complete dying art. Again, when we're watching Naked and Afraid, it's we're gonna make a whatever they're making.
Yeah,
a rope. I couldn't make a rope. Or what? We're gonna cut bamboo and make a bed. I'm make a bed. Isn't there Amish people for that? Seriously, we're so first world prima donna. You know what I mean? It's cool that people still get their hands dirty and do cool stuff.
I think a lot of people forget. They forget what comes of working with your hands, what making something does
all the
for you,
ideas
right?
and all that stuff in the world.
Absolutely.
You don't have to.
You could throw everything away.
It's like everything is disposable now. Like you don't have to worry about where it comes from. You just know you go to
after buying IKEA though, you don't want to use your hands anymore because you hate life.
Well, yeah, that's why you hire Mark to build things for you.
Exactly. I'm no dummy.
See, I'm the other way around. I hate IKEA. That's why I like to build things with my hands. Like I redid the stairs going down to my basement. Every time I walk on those stairs, I'm like, holy shit, I did these stairs.
Yeah.
These are mine. And so there's a pride that comes with working with your hands.
I do. Holy shit, I paid someone to not have to do it. There's a reverse pride, too.
That's why I'm the resident hippie right here.
Right,
guys.
exactly.
It's the cost-benefit analysis. Time versus money. That's what
versus
it always
bloody
comes down to.
knuckles versus,
Right.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I grew up German immigrants, all tool makers.
Yeah.
And it's funny because all the sons from all my uncles were all like either engineers or accountants or sales guys, or there's not one of us doing any manual labor because we saw what it did to our fathers. You know what I mean? So,
oh, sure, yeah.
And then, I mean, how do those guys? Is it
Well, every holiday party, they're always the ones that are hunched over at the table.
Right. Their knuckles are the size of golf balls.
When I was a kid.
But I mean, it's strange how do people get into it these days? Because again, it's kind of foreign to a lot of us. I mean, is it something that they're just trying to get back to some roots or trying to, like, again, learn a new hobby? I mean, again, it's odd.
A lot of different reasons, man. Honestly, because I ask everybody that we talk to. You know, I ask every single person, how did you get into this? How did you find your way through it? And it's different, but it's the same. You know, everybody wants that break and the chance to do their own thing, right?
Yep.
And follow their own path and their own dreams. You know, I worked with a guy in Tennessee. He makes Windsor chairs, beautiful chairs, completely handmade, hardly any power tools, right? And I mean, his chairs are badass. They're amazing and beautiful. And I asked him, I said, why'd you get into it? He said, I wanted to be able to stay home with my daughters and take them to school.
Yeah.
And pick them up from school and make them lunch or make them breakfast.
Well, now see, and here's the other
wave that's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. There's a huge wave of that. 'Cause the dual working parents thing is tiresome and it's old. And I think you're going to see a lot.
It
more
robs
of it.
our children.
It does.
You know, it
does.
It really robs our kids, and then we wonder why we have kids that are disrespectful and don't want to work. Well, dude, they've been sitting in front of an Xbox for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, but so like
and
here's-
trying to learn core math.
Right. The Common Core. But no, so here's the corollary to that whole, IKEA, Meyer, I can just go get it society. So that guy's Windsor's chairs.
Yeah.
What does one run?
Oh, geez, I don't remember. It's significantly more than an IKEA chair.
Well,
for sure.
that's the thing. Like people have lost the understanding of value.
They totally have because we're so used to buying it.
To be disposable.
And then replacing it in 2 years.
Like heirloom quality things are like, I remember when we were shopping for our bedroom set, and when we first got married, she goes, "This is heirloom quality." I go, "What the hell is that?" Because it means it's your last bedroom set you'll ever need because it's made nice.
Well, think about
okay, I don't want to buy more stuff. You know,
when your great grandparents passed away, and they actually had furniture that was still valuable and still in excellent condition
because they put plastic on it.
They didn't have cats all over it, right? So, but I guess my point is that they had furniture that was still of quality
That
and
stands the
existent.
test of time. Yeah.
And our generation won't have that necessarily. We have stuff that is just like, well, they passed on. We'll just throw their stuff away. It's not really worthwhile. You know what I mean? Like, I could buy a brand new for $150.
You want Grandpa Bob's IKEA chest?
No, I'm good. So
I
Eric,
put it together
is
wrong.
your show being run weekly? How do we watch your show? How do we set the DVRs?
It is. It's on. Season 2's on twice a week now in Detroit. Mondays 7:30 p.m. Saturdays 11:30 a.m. And
so
then
we can catch it this coming Saturday for those that missed
sure
it a couple
can.
hours ago.
Yeah.
Good.
And then we're on the Create channel, which is also part of the PBS network. On Mondays and Fridays, like twice a day.
Now, do they enable the on-demand binge viewing? Because you said this is season 2, so like, can we go back and watch season 1?
You go to our website.
Or is that on the website?
Yep, you go to our website, watch all of season 1.
So, and I just want to clarify. So, is it Craftsman's Legacy or A Craftsman's Legacy?
A Craftsman's Legacy.
Craftsmanslegacy.com.
Yeah, but the website, you can go to Craftsman's Legacy or A Craftsman's Legacy.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure we got it right.
Smart. Yeah, and there's a ton of stuff on the website. I mean, we're really trying to build it as sort of a community for people. You know, there's the F-150 Road Journal where you can see where we've been, when we've been there, and it's sort of like a a regular blog, a journal that I sort of keep.
It reminds me of the two guys on what is it? That go buy old signs from old farmhouses.
Oh, the Pickers.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me.
I love that
It's
show.
a fantastic show.
Yeah.
Fantastic show, right?
Absolutely.
How do we get Ford to give us an F-150 to drive around to all the bars in the country? Like that's I would watch that show.
Exactly. Hey, Eric, got the DVR set. I appreciate you hanging out.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
Voodoo Choppers local, Craftsman's Legacy on PBS. Look forward to watching it and keep in touch with us as your show grows. If you ever want to come back, door's always open.
Would love to.
All right, Eric Gorgeous, appreciate it. And we'll be back. Segment 3, Wolfgang, Creative Breakthroughs, talking about hacking, new office down in Detroit, some events coming up, and a new apprenticeship program. This is the IT in the D show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Lives of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
IT in the D. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time. ITinthed.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
Welcome back. Segment 3. It's Monday, October the 5th. This is episode 112 of the IT in the D show. Right about now, the Lions are losing. I'm missing
Ashaka.
I'm missing the Kraftwerk concert, and we are.
But we have
there,
a Craftsman's Legacy here in the studio.
and
with
we
us.
do.
It's just as good.
Way
Bob.
better. And we're sitting here in the Detroit Sound Studios in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob, the sales guy. Always here with Dave, the geek. Nuri, the FNG, is actually here. Find us online, ITinthed.com, and everything is there, including our blogs that we never talk about anymore, but we've had like 300 blogs that we've written over the years.
We've actually gotten a little lazy. Like ever since I have that little like bubble up past post thing, and we've kind of been letting that ride for a while. I mean, it's because we have so much old stuff out there. We've been writing these things for 10 years, and so I have a little widget that sits inside WordPress that it says, okay, every 3 days, find something from one of these categories that's at least 180 days old, at least 6 months old, bubble it back up to like the second spot on the website, and people are like, oh my god, great new article.
From 09. I did send you a blog. You never edited it. Still sitting.
Oh, yeah, the politics one. There's a reason why I forgot that.
For the people that put For the people that put political memes on Facebook as if that meme is going to change.
Because everyone's opinions have always been changed by bumper stickers and Facebook posts.
Right.
Right. That's that.
Regardless of wherever you lean, I don't care. It's... here's a meme, and oh my god, yes.
Oh my god, you radically changed my opinion on everything.
Staunch this? No.
And now I'm going to stand with PP.
The election isn't like upvoting an imager. That's what I was figuring I would do.
I thought like whoever had the most Reddit karma would be the next president.
Exactly. You're in. You clearly know what you're doing.
So Bernie Sanders wins.
Reddit karma got me in the nightclub last week. I said, hey man, Reddit karma 10,000. Like, oh dude, get in front of the line.
Oh wow, look at you.
No velvet rope for you.
Perks, baby. Got a free Uber ride, the whole nine. Like, showed him my car. So we have used to be on episode number 1. You probably forgot all about us at this point. What, 2 years, 2 months later?
We've tried to forget all about episode, like the first 10 episodes that we ever did.
Hey, no, 1 was pretty good. I like that one.
They're so painful to go back and listen to, dude, because we had no idea what the hell we were doing.
You were fine. I was trying to be like Larry Henry on WWJ going, welcome to the IT and the D. It made no sense.
We were as socially awkward as we usually are without alcohol, so yeah.
Well, you guys have really moved up. This is a beautiful studio.
This is the first visit to the new studio. This is we've got new digs. We're comfy now.
Doesn't smell like weed and feet. And, right.
I like the live studio audience. That's nice. That's nice.
Randy, no.
No, but this is great. Thanks for having me back.
Always, man. So you've grown a lot in the past couple of years as well. I mean, not size. You're still the same
I've been
skinny little dude that you always are. But no. So I mean, you're with Creative Breakthroughs. You're over at CBI, and you're doing a lot of cool security stuff there. We ran into you at Converge B-Sides. had a phenomenal time there. That's like one of the best live broadcasts that we've ever had. And that just goes to show you that like our audience cares about security. So I mean, like, so talk a little bit about what you've got going on over at CBI and everything
absolutely.
that's
yeah. So CBI has been definitely engaging the community, definitely engaging the conferences. Brought me on as part of that, right? Getting back to our roots and being more technical, being more hands-on, and being more in tune with that hacker community that we came out of.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I've heard they've kind of like, poo-pooed all of like the huge, ginormous mega conferences in favor of focusing on like the smaller ones that are more, community in the weeds with the folks that are really hands-on.
Yeah, and it's great. I love it. So when I was out on first episode, we were talking about B-Sides Detroit, right? Which we've been doing for 5 years now.
back in 2013,
and I came out of running security for a financial services firm. I'm like, how do I know what the bad guys are doing? Oh, I know. I'll invite all the bad guys to my place. Why not?
and then give them alcohol and say, hey, what you doing?
That's exactly what I did. and it worked great. 5 years later, we're still going strong.
Why do the police not know this?
Hello, the NSA would like to invite you over for cookies.
Doesn't work with the NSA.
No.
You got to call it a hackathon, give away free Red Bull.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Come on over, get your Reddit points.
Right. No. You call it a capture the flag competition.
Oh, so
and give away free Red Bull.
Capture the flag. Yeah. So at Converge, that was one of the things that CBI actually did. We had the CBI logoed Red Bull. It was phenomenal. We had a gentleman out there who does all our hacker labs. So have you ever seen like the X-Men, like Danger Room? This guy is like Mr. Danger Room. This is what he builds for a living. So maybe he should be on a Craftsman. We should talk. But so he builds these scenarios like here's a business, hack it. Here's a coffee shop, break into it. Here's a doctor's office. You now need to protect it. So he brought that to Converge. And we gave a bunch of CBI Red Bull. We gave a bunch of people a lot of time. And then people secured it. And we said, okay, you're ready? Oh, yeah, we got this. You're sure you're ready?
Are you sure?
Yeah, we typed this up. Did you check your code? Oh, yeah, no, we got it. Okay, good. Pen testers, red team, come on in. And the hackers just swept them. That's a nice box you got over there. Boom, reboot. It was blood in the water.
All your box are belong to us.
Yes, it was so much fun to see.
Before me, for I am root.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but those are the fun things, right? I mean, that's why a lot of us got into this was to hang out with hackers, to do cool things, to see what we can build and see what we can break.
Yep.
And the B-Sides community is letting CBI reconnect with that in a really fun and exciting way.
That's outstanding. So, and I know like CBI has some programs going on internally, as far as getting people like educated and up to speed and with a career in that world.
Yeah, it turns out people pay you for this stuff.
What a novel concept.
I know. We were talking earlier, like it's the job you want and then your passion project on the side. I was like, I got my job and my passion project is the hackers. And then I found out the hackers would pay me. Like,
even better.
Yeah, I'm going to run this for a while until maybe I'll learn to make a motorcycle.
I want that one guy's job that we interviewed that like got flown out to the Middle East and got to steal a laptop.
Yeah, got to go to Lebanon.
Jason Street.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best conversation of that entire day.
Isn't
that was
guy
outstanding.
Crazy. He's so exciting.
Just stupid stuff like he walked in with his USB drive full of all of the root compromising programs and all that fun stuff. Walked into a bank, walked behind the counter, in Lebanon, wearing a shirt in English that said "Your company's IT department," and made it through the first 3 computers before anybody even said, "Oh yeah," plugged it in, got root, plugged it in, got root, before anybody even said, hey, are you supposed to be here? He's like, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't be here. You should go find someone to ask. He keeps plugging
and keeps loading on the computers. It was glorious. So, we see these things, right? And he was out at Converge as one of our keynotes. And you got all these kids coming right out of college. They're so excited. They're like, I want to go to Lebanon, right? I want to fly and break into a bank. I want to do all this crazy stuff. And for years and years and years, I've heard from these guys, I can't find work. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get in.
Right.
And at the same time, as a strategist with CBI, I'm meeting with very senior security leaders, CISO, CIO, CTO, and they're like, Wolf, we can't find any talent. We can't find anyone to hire. I would hire anyone if I could. I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense.
I see a bridge.
Yeah. In terms of flow charting, right, there's a couple boxes of them.
No, you know who you hire for social engineering? Sales guys and waiters. If I can get people to buy crap for me and get a woman like my wife to marry me, I can talk anyone into anything.
Do you want a junior position? We could probably hire you.
No, maybe when I was 24.
Oh, damn it, man. I need that time machine. I would just say instant coffee, microwave?
Instant coffee, microwave, back in time.
So
I'm going to do the whole Sandler sales training. Like, you can't afford me, Wolfgang. Like,
oh, man. I'm so bummed. So CBI launched this program called CBI Academy, which I'm the dean of. I love that title. I want like the patches on the the vest.
You're not Professor X. You're not
Dean Mott.
Professor W.
I'm working up to Professor X. That's coming. You shouldn't. That's a spoiler alert.
Professor W would be right before Professor X.
I know, right? So, wait a minute.
I'm seeing more like a yes, sensei.
Yeah, that means I'm going to get X.
Back to school, Dean Martin.
Yeah, Dean Martin. So it's awesome fun. We bring these kids in. They're so full energy. They're right out of college. Brilliant kids, right? Trained to the nines in some of the great technical universities we have out here. Eastern Michigan, Wayne State.
So then you teach them how the real world really works?
Exactly. Then we bring them in a meeting. It was so much fun. We have my current academy team is 6 people, right? So we gave them some reports and we gave them some data on this. All right, present this back to us. And they're all pumped. Like, yeah, Wolf, we're going to present. They stand up and start presenting. And I keep interrupting them. I'm like, wait, did you say, what about this? Can you go back 3 slides? What does the acronym mean? Can you make that make sense? Oh, I'm sorry. You got a conference call. Can you switch?
So your job is to be the stereotypical business customer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they're like, so after my one-on-ones, they're like, why did you do that? I'm like, that's how the real world works. Mm-hmm. That's how it's going to happen. It's going to be intense.
Oh, I've always loved back in the day when I was at in the emerging technologies group at a large company and a large database company was coming out, and I had this was back in '98, and I had about 6 servers at my desk, and they wanted to install the latest version of their database, and I said, okay, now you guys have done real world installs, right? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well then you get that box, go. And so, I turn around, and I work on my stuff, and I turn back around because I hear, oh shit. And I see a blue screen. And I'm like, dude, what'd you do? And he was like, well, it wouldn't let me use the port, the default ports and yada. I'm like, well, yeah. So and this tells you how long ago this was. I've got Netscape Sweet Spot running on that. So some of your default ports aren't necessarily. That's why I asked you, have you done real? Okay, why don't you tell me what a real world install is to you? And he's like, oh well, they put us in the lab and they have us. They give us a machine and then we do an install and then they wipe it and then we do the install again and then we're good to go. I'm like, no, son, that's not how real world.
No.
I think
try again.
I think a lot of consulting companies do that though. I was sent out to a state government with a whole pallet full of Cisco routers that I had to make work. And I had never once installed a Cisco router.
And that's why consulting companies get a bad name, right?
It's true.
You have this trial by fire.
Yet I'm the dumb sales guy. Yeah, got it. We'll get right on that.
So with CBI, with the Academy, what we're doing is we're giving these kids 12 weeks to get up to speed, give them business skills, give them technical skills, give them real-world experience, real-world projects. And then they shadow and we phase them in slowly, so you're not showing up with a crate of Cisco going, "Hey, go!"
So they're going out. They're going out with experienced folks.
Absolutely, yeah. They've shadowed me on a couple different engagements now and whatnot. A lot of fun. Oh, and then they get to do side projects, right? Like, hey, pick a hack, pick something you want to pull apart. So at B-Sides Detroit, my first Academy team, we're on Team 2 now. My first Academy team, one of the stars out of that, tore apart Apple Pay. When it first came out, he hacked Apple Pay. He built a whole model, found a whole bunch of weaknesses, and then him and I came and presented it. And he's like, I did this, I did that, I did this. And it was great. It was awesome.
And was anyone from Apple there to pay attention to any of this, or no? No.
Well,
that's why iOS 9.02 came out.
Right.
Now you understand.
Well, so and honestly, that's always one of the biggest challenges. We always know that the first 2 things to slip are documentation and security.
Oh yeah.
Nobody likes to document their crap. Nobody, will worry about it later. And security never matters until you wind up on the front page of CNN.
Right.
So that's how do you? And that's some of why I'm sure you face some of that. Nobody will hire me. Nobody's looking for what I do because there is sort of that mentality that it doesn't matter until something goes sideways, and then we need somebody to point the finger at, and then but then we've got our incident response team, which is a consulting company we brought in, investigating everything. That's how is CBI addressing that? How do you deal with business customers to make them understand the importance of this?
Well, there's a million different layers to networks, right? So there's
Right.
a million different ways to tackle it. One of the main ways that I look at is that application layer, right? So every one of the brothers building applications, we know that 80 to 90% of all breaches happen at the applications. People are breaking into the web. We were talking about the T-Mobile hack recently, right, which happened. They attacked the website. They got in through that, got to the SQL database, got to the files, extracted it. Now what? Was it 15 million records of Experian were leaked?
SSNs, the whole 9 yards. If you ever applied, in case you missed this memo, if you ever applied for a T-Mobile account, whether or not you got one, but if you ever so much as applied for a T-Mobile like normal account as opposed to the prepaid ones that they carry, your info's out in the wild.
Yeah,
and I'd be so pissed if I was T-Mobile because this was not their fault. This was somebody that they use as a vendor.
That's their fault.
It's their fault.
It's vendor risk management, man.
The weakest link, man.
But it's Experian. Experian does everybody's credit cards.
Vendor risk management. You got to do some processing on it. But
Wow.
Thank you, T-Mobile. Thank you, Experian. And by the way, happy National Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Should that be every month?
That should be like every day.
Really, it seems like it. But the issue is, and you got the Django girls coming up, right? The issue is we don't have enough developers. So at the same time we're trying to get people to develop and we're making it easy to develop, we give them these platforms and then we go, well, wait a minute, you guys screwed up because you wrote bad code 2-3 years later, right?
Right.
So we got that same type
I made
of
the
problem.
best decision that I could at the time with the tools that I had.
Correct.
Well, and that's kind of the double-edged sword here. You've got developers that are now standing on the shoulders of giants where there are so many kits and APIs and everything. Like you don't have to inherently understand the code that you're writing in order to make it work anymore.
Yeah.
Just like you've got like that generational shift from hackers to crackers where it went from Explorer to now you've got every script kiddie on the planet has a copy of Satan / your scanning access tool here because they don't need to understand what the consequences of their actions are and what they're clicking next on really does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, that's almost a perfect storm where you've got developers who don't need to understand versus it's getting easier and easier to destroy stuff and get into it.
And that intersection is going to be crazy for the next 20 years of us. So to answer your question,
Facebook going move fast and break things. Right?
Yeah, move fast and break things. That's
Doesn't
the
matter.
motto.
We'll fix it later.
So if you move fast, right? Have you guys heard this? Why are the brakes in the car? You guys heard this? It's not to stop. It's so you can go really fast and then tap them if you need them.
Right.
Right? The whole point of brakes is to go faster.
Problem avoidance.
Yeah. So what I focus in on and what CBI is really making this big push on this year with our application security webinars and outreach and conference engagement and whatnot is how can we make those anti-lock brakes for the developers? How can we allow them to go fast but give them the controls so that they can check their own code, so that the code checks itself, so that the software is inherently clean and has less problems.
I saw something just today about a financial institute in Denmark where the guy went and viewed source on the webpage and saw actual session data and cookies for previous users. Did you see
with
that just
passwords.
Today? With passwords. So basically, anyone who just could right-click view source, and then the company's like, no, that's just test data.
Yeah.
But you're right. Where is that point?
Yeah, but it's
in
still
the production
there.
system, right? In the production system,
which violates a couple of security controls in and of itself. So there are tools now who scan that code and look for things like that, who will run websites and try fuzzing and different attacks attackers would make, who will look at the source code at different levels and then alert the developers. So one of the things you do is you look at that life cycle and you say, how can we help people be fast, break things, but yet fix them before the criminals break them?
Well, but then you've got then you've still got that internal challenge of, boss, I need a copy of AppScan DE, or I need a good testing tool to make sure that neither I nor my developers are doing anything bad, and here's the price tag for it. Well, that's not in the budget.
It's like insurance, right? People are so afraid to pay for insurance on something that they think they may never need.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just a small company. We don't need a hacker security or anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, making the business case is always half the fun, right? So these breaches help. If you're in a similar company and you've been breached, it helps.
It's not in the budget? Okay, how is damage control when we wind up on CNN.com? Is that in the budget?
Is that in the budget?
Is the PR firm in the budget?
Exactly. We were talking about vendor risk management. So a lot of the things that we're starting to see is with mergers and acquisitions. I am now purchasing, if I'm in the mergers and acquisitions, I'm purchasing software to scan my acquisition to make sure that they're not vulnerable.
Right.
Wow. So we're seeing that. We're seeing it in the vendor risk space. I completed a assessment with my team of a major application that a financial services firm was purchasing and then rolling out to a whole bunch of dealerships. And that was part of their plan, right?
Well, and
let's scan it before we put it everywhere.
That's almost the worst case scenario from a security standpoint is because everybody loves inherited code,
right?
So when you pick up entire systems and try to forklift them into your environment, you have no idea what the hell they do, who the hell wrote them.
Yeah.
Even in your own company, you may not know who the hell wrote stuff. But when you're bringing in,
I did, Dave. I did.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the problem too, right?
Yeah,
some sales guy goes, this credit card and swipes it and says, I'm buying this web application. I'm going to put all my data in it. Who knows what's wrong with it? That's such a good point.
Right.
Well, that's a good conversation with some of the folks that we've had in recently talking about cloud and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the new move. Is okay, it's all going to be in the cloud. It's all in. Okay, well, that's still your data, and I believe we may have beaten this dead horse, but still, there is no cloud. It's just someone else's computer.
Right.
So.
Someone else's computer, someone else's software, someone else's vulnerabilities, and then they get hacked, and that's your name. And it's your brand, it's your IP.
Well, which is just what happened to T-Mobile.
But full
and
circle.
Patreon
and everybody else.
I'm surprised Volkswagen didn't come out and say that was a hack to our software instead of fighting the bullet on that.
I'm sorry, my software was in Canada.
Call.
Yeah, our exhaust systems ran perfectly fine, but we were hacked.
How about that?
Yeah.
My software was in Canada for 24 hours and it got stolen. And
my cell phone. Yeah,
it's like that realtor clown from Indianapolis. He goes, no, it wasn't me. Someone else ran that page. He played the not me guy. Look over there.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, we did last week.
Did we talk about
Absolutely.
the guy? I forgot. Anyway, back to you, Wolf. That's something that, like I said, I dance this dance every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the technical guy that's also a business guy and trying to get people to understand. Yes, this matters without having to go to hyperbole,
right?
Which you really can wind up on the headline, as a headline on CNN. That's a hard conversation to have without kind of getting poo-pooed as being, the guy on the corner wearing a bathrobe and a tinfoil hat, and the end is nigh.
Mr. the Plague, sir.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Mr. the Plague. Nice hackers reset.
Perfect. Now I want to go skateboarding in a data center. Right. Who's with me after this?
I'm in.
That's why I often go to code quality. I go to those types of issues, right? Holding your vendors accountable. They're doing stuff for you. They better be serving your needs. Let's check. Let's make sure they're upholding the contract. Let's do those sort of things.
So we talked about the CBI Academy. We talked about some of that stuff. Tell me about. So we kind of diverged away from conferences and that kind of stuff. Where can people find CBI at upcoming conferences?
All right. So at upcoming conferences, CBI this week will be at CIRACon, which is the Society for Information Risks. It is an annual conference, first year in Detroit. So that's going to be on Thursday and Friday. Yay, coming home.
Nice.
GERCon in Grand Rapids, which is Friday, Saturday of this week.
Yep.
It's going to be a very long week for me, guys. But they're
a lot of Red Bull in your future.
A lot of Red Bull in my future, not much sleep. So that's coming up. HUSECCon is 2 weeks out. That's in Houston. So if you want to drive from
Planet
GERCon,
Houston,
take the road trip.
What?
Thanks for paying attention with the Planet Houston.
Houston.
I don't know what that's from.
Superman 2.
Superman, man.
Was the bad guys there?
Houston?
Planet
Oh.
Houston.
Houston.
Sorry.
Yes.
But the best place...
The last thing I was thinking about was Superman 2 right now. Sorry.
Superman 2, Salami Attacks was a Superman 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the
Niagara Falls. Which
Falls.
was that?
I've got no idea.
Where was
anymore.
Richard Pryor?
Why was he in the Superman?
Was he in Detroit? He should be in Detroit.
Now, how did just a regular mortal human being bring Superman to his knees when he could just flew him to the moon and left him there? Never understood that.
That's Batman versus Superman. We've already talked about that.
No, same with Lex Luthor. Could have flew him to the moon too.
So
left him on there.
Back to Wolf.
Flying to the moon. So the other place that people can now find CBI is Detroit.
That's actually kind of cool that you guys. I've seen pictures. I want to come play.
Yeah, I get to go for the first time tomorrow, and I get to play. You should come down, take a tour. We're right on Library Street. It's a beautiful building. It looks great lit up at night. And for so long, Wolf, what do you do? I run B-Sides Detroit. Really? Where from? Out of town. I run My Sec Detroit. Where from? I'm Royal Oak. I'm an ITD, in Detroit. Where at? Ferndale.
Now, yes.
Hey, we can see Detroit from the other side of the street.
Exactly. Literally right there.
We're real close at this point now. So coming home and working
Russia
Detroit
from my house
is just phenomenal. I've been wanting to do it for so long. It's been a good goal for the company. And it's great feeling to be downtown when everything's coming back.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Did we not hit on anything before we hop up against a break?
I think we're ahead on everything. So
we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, hey, we'll be back with Jessica and Ryan talking about Django Girls, talking about an event coming up. This is the IT in the D show, and we will be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hey guys, it's Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT and D show.
IT in the D. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time. itinthed.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Welcome back, segment 4, episode 112. This is the IT in the D show. We are hanging out in the Detroit Sound Studios in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan, because that makes sense. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG.
But Detroit's right there.
I know, you can see it out the window.
Our live studio audience is actually in Detroit.
Find us online, itinthed.com. During the break, we were just talking about how many stupid domains we own. We're still waiting for the Detroit Applebee's to open up because we may or may not own DetroitApplebee's.com.
Still waiting for that cease and desist to show up.
Right.
Red Wing. I got one from Red Wing Shoes. It's your turn.
Right. I might get one from the diarrhea.pizza that goes to hungryhowies.com. We shouldn't talk about that right now.
Sending them cease and desist are like giving them things to put on their mantle. Don't do it if you're listening.
Frame them.
We feed on them like little troll children.
Your tears. Give me your tears.
Exactly.
Delicious tears.
So last but not least, and we appreciate your patience. You have no idea. You've been sitting through our hijinks and tomfoolery.
And shenanigans.
It's been fantastic.
But we have Jessica here from Django Girls hanging out. Also, Ryan in the house. So for those of you that don't know, what in the world is Django Girls? And what do you guys
And is there
doing?
any relation to Django Unchained?
Or
That was
Django
my
Fett?
first question.
No.
That was
Django.
a great movie.
It was a fantastic movie. No, it was a fantastic movie, but no relation there. So Django Girls was actually started by two girls in Poland. They have this funny thing online. If you search for it, this girl, she wanted to enter like the world of programming. She knew about programming. She knew how to code, but she found that the world was full of badgers. So it was really hard to get into the forest full of badgers. And she
Badgers?
deemed herself as a squirrel. So that's how it whole
Badgers?
Yeah.
Is this that old badger?
We don't need those stinking badgers.
Mushroom.
Snake.
But so she knew she was different. She wasn't a badger. She was a squirrel. And so she wanted to find other squirrels and teach other people, other squirrels, how to enter this world of like badgers. So through that, she started Django Girls, and they hosted an event and got so much support from it that they started to kind of, I think this was like a year ago that they hosted it. And they got so much support from around the world that other people started hosting their own events. Now, the great thing about Django Girls is they set up all of their event materials. It's all open source, so you can own it. You can change it so that it fits your own event, and then you co-host something on behalf of them.
Right. So, I mean, like you're, and I want to be sure I get that you're affiliated with or running the Detroit chapter.
We're running the Detroit chapter.
Okay. And that's, you guys have an event coming up on November 7th?
Yep, November 7th. we are going to be so Django Girls Detroit is what we're calling it. It's a one-day workshop where we're going to teach women how to program, and we're going to take them through a tutorial where they use Python, Django, CSS, and HTML.
Okay.
And they're going to have their they're going to create their own web application.
Nice. So, like, do they have what do they need to know, like, if anything, before walking in?
Well, the great thing about this is that you don't have to know anything about programming. This is really that introduction and getting your foot in the door. We found that, well, I would think that if you don't know anything about programming, this can actually go on like any topic. If you don't really know anything about it, it's super hard to just jump right in and know exactly what to do.
Yep.
Right. So that's what Django Girls Detroit strives to do. We want to women that are interested in doing this, we give them the tools to start whatever career they want in the programming industry.
So now I noticed on your site as I was looking through things, you want them to show up with a laptop, like any particular kind. Like what should they have? Like, do they need to have anything loaded? What do they need to have walking into this to be able to build their website?
Yeah, literally all you need when you walk in is a curiosity to learn and a laptop running any operating system. So we'll be teaching using Linux, Mac OS, or Windows to show up. And we'll probably be doing an installation party, as they call it.
Okay.
Like the day before. So making sure Python's on your system, as well as the Django web framework, which uses Python.
That sounds like an awesome party, by the way.
An installation party.
That's why you're a sales guy,
right?
No, but I guess that leads to a good question. I mean, is one day enough? To make it through, getting everybody, installed, configured, up and running, and then make it through the curriculum.
Right. So the curriculum is very structured. They've done it a few times, so it's proven to only take one day, and the main purpose is to just spark that curiosity. So if you have at least a little bit of interest in programming or IT at all, we encourage any woman in the Detroit area or Michigan to come and participate with us for the day and just get exposure to programming.
I mean, it's been a huge – let me ask you this. It's been a huge struggle, and we hear about it all the time. There's so many different groups trying to get girls, young girls, women into STEM technologies, into IT. Then we hear about women that get into IT, and we hear the workforce is awful, right? Just from the harassment to the, being not in the boys' club and all that.
The programmers.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, is it something that they're shying away from? It just girls don't like it. I mean, again, it's just to me it seems like I guess I have two daughters. One of them is going to be in IT, one of them's not. Right? Is it that simple, or is it just sometimes they need a swift kick in the butt, kind of like what this program does?
Well, there's no denying that the workforce is dominated by young white males. Like, we've all been in that office space where it's just a bunch of young guys hanging out, having a good time, and it can be uncomfortable for a young woman or an older woman even, like, to come into that space and feel like she belongs. And that's where the story of the squirrel in the forest.
We always look for a peer group, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what you do for a living. You always want a peer group.
You want to relate. You want to feel comfortable. And so that's the main purpose of this, is to just be a very comfortable space to come in and check it out and see if you like it.
One of the things, too, like when you're communicating with Django Girls, like the girls they're called Ola and Ola, their names, who started this, they have this very, like, bubbly, sunshiny kind of way of communicating. Like, all of their communications end with, like, sunshine and cupcakes, Ola. Like, so it's like, and they really stress that, though. Like, so like I mentioned, they kind of, like, develop these materials. It's like an event in a box. And when it comes to, like, developing or like creating this workspace that everybody's going to be hanging out in for the day, make sure it's really warm, make sure it's really comfortable and inviting. So it's really like you can picture like a whole bunch of like little kind of pods all over the room where you have a couple girls set up here, a couple over here.
Right.
And by the way, each one of these little groups will be they'll have a coach with them. So they have like 3 or 4 girls that are working through the tutorial, and they have a coach that knows about the code or knows the tutorial in order to like answer questions.
Right.
But so you have all these little groups just hanging out, and they're freely like able to answer questions or ask questions, and You know, we're going to have posters and balloons, and it'll be like a fun, cool learning environment.
So let's say they get through this and life is great and they're like, oh my God, this is everything I've ever wanted. Where's the
I was going to say that's our biggest question.
Where's the end then? I mean, what happens? No, what happens next?
Well,
no, and then no, I'm just kidding.
you at least you have the knowledge now. You at least have some kind of background in like that direction that you can take it somewhere. So, I mean, one thing we talked about too, we're going to be handing out goodie bags, and we're going to have sponsors, and there's going to be coaches, and so. With all of this, you're now starting to build up your network and understand like what's out there in the world. So you have all these resources that you can now like reach towards. I mentioned that.
No, but are there like boot camps you're steering them to? Or there, you know, other people you're working with that kind of...
Or other technical resources to kind of like, here's where you continue your learning, or...
Well, I mean, we're looking for sponsorships. We're looking for people to sponsor. We're looking for partners. So any of those people will definitely do our due diligence to make sure that they're routed in those directions and that know that, like, these are people and these are companies, these are resources that you can go towards if you want to take that next step.
So I guess so. It's November 7th. Like where? Like so. I guess we didn't talk about where. Like where? Like what location is this happening in? What's what time do people need to be there? That sort of thing.
So the whole process is, if you're interested in doing this, if you're interested in being an attendee, check out djangogirls.org.
Which is DGANGO.
Yes. djangogirls.org/Detroit. And that's our website. You can check it out. You can sign up to be an attendee. Or if you're interested in coaching, you can go there and you can fill out the coach's application. It's going to be on November 7th, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's where we'll do like a quick brief and welcome and thank you for coming, and then we'll get started in the
tutorial.
Sunshine. Cupcake, yeah. And then, of course, everybody's favorite part, after the whole entire day is done and you've made it through the tutorial, we're going to go out and celebrate.
Nice.
So...
Yeah. But as far as space goes, we've been very lucky to land a free space on behalf of Detroit Labs, downtown Detroit, right on Woodward.
Not bad people.
No, they're pretty good.
So right in the middle of downtown in the Madison block, where it's a huge tech scene and a ton of startups around.
Well, they've got a phenomenal space.
So the main thing that we're really pushing for as far as next steps go is finding people who have similar interests as you and making those connections in real life. You can find this tutorial online for free and learn this stuff by yourself. But it's really about meeting other people, and
the peer group's critical.
Yeah,
like the network. That's the stuff. When you feel like you have a bond, then they can go out. Kind of do their own thing.
Having someone to reach out to when you've got a question.
Yeah. One thing I've been saying too is with these coaches that are going to be helping you. You have a coach for a day, but when you leave the event, you potentially have a mentor for life,
right?
As well. So this is really about getting your foot in the door, learning some skills that build that foundation, and then making a career out of it if you're interested, or a hobby.
Well, I'm on your website, and it says, can I coach, right? So are you short coaches, and what is the minimum criteria to become said coach?
You should not be a coach.
I'm not saying for me. I know better than that. I'm going to teach how to program on a Commodore 64, kids. Gather around.
No, we could definitely use some more coaches. We're always looking to see if people are interested in helping us out with this. As far as what you would need to know, if you've done web development in the past, in any framework really, modern web development, MVC style. That's what Django's all about, and it's pretty open. If you can get through the tutorial yourself, we'd be happy to have you come on as a coach.
And also, there's a coaching manual that's available too. So if anybody has any questions, they're more than welcome to send us an email. That's Detroit@djangogirls.org. Like I said, there's a coaching manual. If they have any questions about the qualifications, we're more than happy to answer those questions.
It's all a volunteer basis, and that's the whole point of this, is to just be open and welcome people in and have a good time for a day. And
you're giving them breakfast and lunch. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Well, so you mentioned that the online tutorials are free. What's the cost of the actual event itself if I'm an attendee?
That's free.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're not going to charge anything. And the same.
That's where those sponsors come in.
It's that feeling of just we want it to be just a warm and welcoming environment. So if you're interested, then there's no cost of entry.
Well, and I mean, and you've picked a good spot. I mean, so Detroit Labs. I mean, one of our favorite people there that we've known, or actually one of our favorite people, just happens to be there. That's Erica Carlson.
Yay, Erica!
Who's one of the founding people of the why am I blanking on Girl Develop It?
Girl
Detroit.
Develop It.
Okay.
Same kind of concept. She got
breakfast with the co-founder today.
With Nate Hughes. Yeah, so, I mean, she got that up off the ground. So, I mean, you want to talk about a peer group and people you can learn from. She psychology and decided to go be a developer. I mean, it's something that's you're in the right environment to have the right kind of folks.
The curiosity's everywhere. Like you were saying, psychology to development, and like I started as a physics major in college and went to development. Jessica is in marketing. And now she's exploring web development as well.
Well, and actually somebody else that's at over there at Detroit Labs, Elise. Now she was one of the marketing coordinators at Brightwing. Decided to just cash that in and go through the apprentice program at Detroit Labs, and is now a developer. I mean, it is everywhere.
I think the biggest hurdle is the fear. Like, I can't code.
Wizards, back rooms, smoking dragons.
Backslash. I don't know.
/IT.
But no, I think
that's what we want. That's what we want to change with Django Girls Detroit. We want to show them that this is it's pretty simple.
None of this nonsense is rocket science. People think I'm joking when your role as a consultant should be to make yourself obsolete. Like I should not be the keeper of the secrets. Right. This stuff is not. My degree is in biochem and theater arts. All of this IT nonsense is completely self-taught. So I mean, like if I, the idiot that I was when I started this, can pick this stuff up, anybody can pick this stuff up. I assure you.
There's more guys than I care to admit that I know that are self-taught doing exactly that, or like running data centers, things like that.
Like to your point, I mean, I want a good buddy out here. He's got a PhD in theoretical nuclear physics. Does the exact same stuff I do. You know what? Because basically, when you graduate with a PhD in theoretical nuclear physics, you find the one job that's open in the entire world.
CERN.
You drive a bus, or you get into something else, usually IT.
We were talking earlier, there's this whole thing where you've got these people coming out of college, or they're like interested in exploring IT or technology, and then you've got every resume or job posting rather that says we're looking for this rock star systems admin or this ninja programmer.
Entry level position must have 3 to 5 years experience. Right. References from 3 living presidents,
and 20 years developing an iOS.
Right.
That's what we're trying to solve with CBI Academy, and that's what I was really excited to see with Django Girls. And you mentioned, Girl Develop It, right? All these types of groups that are reaching out and building that bridge is just phenomenal because these people need the help, and they've got the passion, and they've got some very interesting insights to bring.
Yeah. And coming up on the show, I think we got Monica Wheat from Diggerati Girls, too. They do the same thing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, so that's a good question. I mean, is part of – because, I mean, I did not go through the curriculum. I mean, is part of the curriculum developing securely? I mean, is that something that, might be a good – having a mentor there from that standpoint or having a coach there from that standpoint that might be a good thing?
It's definitely something that the organization should consider in the future, but I think right now it's just
the basics.
Started, and it's just the basics. Like we're saying, we could use people in the industry that can write HTML or can style up a blog real quick.
Yep.
So it's just entry-level stuff to just gain exposure, and moving forward, we're hoping that network that you build can take you to those directions.
Very, very cool. Well, and I can't imagine why we wouldn't want to have those folks at our events moving forward.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the
network.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were pigeonholed. Well, not even pigeonholed. Just the reality of our group for the longest time is that we were the mid to senior level career networking group. Like if you had at least 5 years of experience and up, recruiters were looking for you and that kind of stuff. And it's in the past 2 years it's started to change, where now we've got a lot of recruiters looking for true entry level, their first job, getting their feet wet, those kind of gigs, and that's been really cool to see because I mean that's a segment that we really hadn't touched before, and that's where we started getting more involved with Girl Develop It and some of the other groups that are out there. So yeah, I mean, by all means, anything we can do to help, let us know.
Well, you know what this tells me though. I mean, from an industry standpoint, that if these companies are taking this much initiative to train their own and to go outside the normal box of recruiting and hiring, there's
It's
a huge shortage of talent coming out.
Well, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I mean, there were all a couple of articles that came out that basically said, the ideal IT candidate no longer has a comp sci degree. It is the person with the liberal arts degree, with the biochem degree, with the marketing background.
Well, because the liberal arts degree is not finding a job, so he's got to do something.
Well, even then,
it's also communication, right? The very best hacker I know has a degree, dual degrees, in medieval philosophy and
Sanskrit?
in literature. Medieval philosophy and literature, yes.
/ forsooth, I hacketh thee.
Yes, I draw my dagger. And the ability to communicate, right? It's all about that.
That's especially from a social engineering standpoint, absolutely. And I mean, and that is the biggest challenge. We see it at every single one of our events. I mean, it's your stereotypical IT person is your stereotypical IT person and doesn't necessarily have the best communication skills. Where when you have people that are coming from the outside world, and that or the outside degrees don't have those same hangups. But I mean, it's also that like we talked about earlier. Great, you made it through school with a comp sci degree. I'm so happy for you. Please, for the love of God, forget everything you just learned, because that's not, and that's hard. That's not how the real world works. I'm great you were indoctrinated. Now I have to break you down and build you back up yet again.
That WordPerfect certification is not going to come in handy in the real world.
Yes, yeah. Punch card not doing you a whole lot of good in today's world. Yeah, Pascal not lighting the world on fire right about now.
Damn it.
No.
I wonder why I went into sales at WordPerfect degrees for crap.
All right, so again, it's November 7th. It's down at Detroit Labs. That's outstanding. Very, very cool. Starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, I believe you said. It runs all day, and apparently there's some sort of after event. We should definitely help with the after event. That's what we do.
You guys are welcome to. But, I mean, if you want to attend, make sure you apply on our website, and then we'll let you know.
And it's Django Girls. It's DGANGO Girls.
DJ.
Did I say what I say?
G.
Oh, stupid me. DJ. Sorry. At DJANGOGirls.com/Detroit.
And if you've got a daughter or an aunt or a sister that has ever expressed an interest in like building a website or starting their own business or anything of that nature that has an interest in technology, let them know about this.
Even if you want to like learn something new, just come check it out.
This is basically a free one-day awesome opportunity to get your feet wet in a new technology skill.
Yeah.
You got nothing to lose.
Beyond, I mean, if anything else, like it's in Detroit, so
and you get to
come
check out the really
and
cool space that Detroit Labs has built out.
Detroit Labs is super cool. That whole entire like Madison block, they have a really good space there. So,
what's the age range?
There is no age range.
All are welcome.
So you could have if a child is into it, or
yeah. I think really the only requirement is that you have a computer.
Right.
So if you have a computer, you can bring it down to the event. Then we'll get you started and install the stuff that you need, and get you working on your tutorial. Yeah. By the time you leave, you have a working website, a blog.
On the internet. It's deployed as well.
Very, very cool. Yeah. So just to make sure I get this right, it is DJANGOGirls.org.
Yes.
/Detroit, and that's where you find our event.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you. Anything we missed before we wrap things up?
No, that covers it. That's good.
Okay, awesome. Got everybody. So, Eric, again, where do we find all of the stuff about a Craftsman's Legacy?
Craftsmanslegacy.com.
Very cool. Wolf, all your stuff with CBI is out at?
CBIHome.com.
Thank you very much. And Jessica, just one last time?
DjangoGirls.org/Detroit.
Very, very cool.
Eric, how about one more time? You do it to me all the time. I had to do it back to you.
I'm sorry. Did I fall into DJ mode?
See you
coming up
next week for episode
coming up
100.
on stage 2. No,
next week.
Next Thursday.
Episode 113. Mark your calendars, October 15th, Hamlin Corner. This has been episode 112 of the IT and the D Show. Drink up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week.
See you, everybody.
Beat it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash. You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy. make the run. The run.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth. Rude.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
To own the truth.
Bear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would, Buick put their cars next to, the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing. The alphabet. It's brilliant. Yeah, I can't take that position. That analogy sucks because it's right. Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up. Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh. Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Yeah. Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me. I love this city. I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.